Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. Imagine standing at the peak of your career, loved by millions, praised for your talent, yet living in silence, under the constant gaze of those who control your every move. This is not a movie. This is the chilling story of Menglong, an actor whose life ended far too soon, and whose final possession, a simple USB drive, might have held the truth powerful people never wanted revealed. Tonight on Update X24H, we uncover what truly lies behind the walls of China's most powerful entertainment empire, and how one man's courage to escape it changed everything. Behind every dazzling spotlight lies a shadow that most people never see. For years, Menglong was known as a quiet, devoted actor, polite, gentle, and always professional. To the public, he was the picture of calm success. But behind that graceful image lived a man trapped within an invisible cage, fighting a battle that almost no one knew existed. His management company, Tianyu Media, was not merely an entertainment agency. It was an empire built on power, politics, and silence. It owned everything: the careers, the contracts, and the dreams of those who worked beneath it. For many young artists, signing with Tianyu meant fame, but it also meant surrendering control of their lives. In the beginning, Menglong believed in the promise of opportunity. He worked tirelessly, grateful for every small step forward, unaware of the invisible chains tightening around him. Each success, each public smile came at the cost of freedom. Every contract was crafted to bind, every rule designed to remind artists that they were replaceable, that one wrong word could end everything. The company's influence reached far beyond the entertainment industry, into state-owned banks, media networks, and corporate sponsors that ensured no one dared to question its methods. By 2018, the quiet rebellion began. Menglong stopped following company accounts on social media, an unspoken signal that he wanted out. To outsiders, it looked trivial. Inside the industry, it was an act of defiance. Suddenly, his projects were cancelled, his name erased from promotions, his future frozen without explanation. In public appearances, cameras captured subtle moments. The shift in his expression when his manager appeared, the quick drop of his gaze, the flicker of fear in his eyes. Fans called it exhaustion, but those who looked closer sensed something darker. A man under watch, a spirit slowly crushed. He wanted freedom, yet every path led back to the same walls. The entertainment world that once celebrated him now turned its back, as if waiting for him to vanish quietly. In those final years, Menglong lived between applause and oppression, between light and darkness, a symbol of what happens when dreams collide with a system too powerful to defy. There were whispers that Menglong had been holding on to something. Not money, not fame, but the kind of truth that can shatter an empire. Those close to him spoke of a small USB drive he kept with him at all times, guarded as if it were his last piece of safety in a world built on fear. It was said to contain financial records, confidential documents, and files that linked the glamorous facade of the entertainment industry to darker, forbidden dealings, money laundering, political corruption, and the illegal trade of technology and weapons disguised as film investments. The lines between business and crime blurred, and those who had once applauded him from the front row became silent, afraid to even mention his name. As this hidden world unfolded, it became clear that Tianyu Media was more than just a talent agency. It was a web of influence stretching through corporations, financial institutions, and even state-owned enterprises. Beneath its polished image of celebrity success lay a system that used human lives as currency. Contracts were not written for art, but for control. Each artist's image, reputation, and personal life were carefully manipulated to maintain the illusion of perfection, while feeding a machinery of profit and power. Menglong, by accident or courage, found himself holding a piece of evidence that exposed the machinery from within. In the final months of his life, he became quieter, more introspective, but also strangely at peace, as if he had already accepted what was coming. Friends recall him saying that truth could never stay buried forever, that even the smallest light can break through the deepest dark. Days later, he was found lifeless under circumstances that remain unexplained. The official report claimed it was an accident, another tragedy in a long line of depressions and falls. But the details never fit. The timing, the silence, the speed of the investigation. Everything felt rehearsed, like a script written long before it happened. After his death, that USB vanished. No one knew where it went, or if it ever truly existed. But its story, the story of a man who dared to hold the truth, began to spread faster than any of his films. What he left behind was not just suspicion. It was a question that still haunts millions. How much truth can one person carry before the world decides it's too dangerous to let him live? Not long after Menglong's death, the silence that once protected the system began to tremble. What had seemed like a single tragedy slowly revealed itself as a pattern that stretched far beyond one man's story. Within the same network of companies and entertainment circles, several young artists were found dead under strikingly similar circumstances. Sudden accidents, unexplained falls, or vague references to depression. Their names disappeared from screens, their projects were erased, and their families were left with scripted condolences that all sounded eerily alike. It was as if someone was rewriting reality, turning real people into footnotes of a much darker narrative. As journalists and online communities began connecting the dots, they uncovered a disturbing consistency. Almost all of these artists had ties to the same management system, the same executives, and the same silent contracts. Each one had, at some point, attempted to question or step away from their agreements. Each one had vanished shortly after. And each death was wrapped in polished explanations that left no space for doubt, at least, not in the official record. But for the public, doubt had already turned into fury. Social media exploded with theories, and hashtags demanding truth flooded Chinese platforms before being swiftly removed. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered about a deeper hierarchy of power, a world where entertainment, finance, and politics merged into a single web of control. At its core were individuals too wealthy, too connected, and too protected to be challenged. The profits from films and music were only the surface. Beneath it flowed billions in real estate, technology, energy, and offshore accounts. Artists were not the stars of this empire, they were the disguises. Their fame, their scandals, even their deaths served to distract the public from the empire's true operations. Menglong's name had simply been the one too pure, too visible, and too dangerous to leave alive. As this realization spread, something unexpected happened. Ordinary people began to speak out. Fans who once posted pictures of smiling idols now demanded accountability. Former employees hinted at secret clauses, blacklisted producers, and vanished evidence. And in the midst of this digital chaos, natural disasters struck parts of China. Earthquakes, floods, and violent storms. For many, they became metaphors, a mirror of the country's internal collapse. It was as if nature itself had decided to join the rebellion against corruption. Still, those in power moved swiftly to silence it all. Articles disappeared, accounts were deleted, and the topic became forbidden. Yet the questions refused to die. What if every disappearance had been planned? What if Menglong's story was never meant to be hidden, but to ignite something larger? A reckoning long overdue. In the end, the twist was not simply about the crimes behind the curtain. It was about the people watching from the dark, the audience who finally stopped clapping and began to see the stage for what it truly was. Menglong's death did not end his story. It became the spark that made millions realize that fame, in the wrong hands, can become the perfect mask for a system built on fear. Today, Menglong's name has become more than a memory. It has become a voice, one that echoes for every artist silenced by power, every truth buried under fear, every dream crushed by greed. His story reminds us, fame without freedom is just another form of captivity. And when courage meets corruption, the price is often paid in silence. But silence doesn't last forever. Truth, just like light, always finds a way to break through the cracks. Thank you for watching Update X24H. If this story touched you, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share your thoughts, because awareness is the first step towards truth. We bring you real stories, hidden voices, and moments that matter. Stay curious. Stay compassionate. This is Update X24H, where the untold finally comes to light.